G'day folks, Ben from Snowy's here again today with the Oztent Oxley 7 canvas touring tent. It's a great fast pitch and durable family touring tent. I want to run through all the features with you today. We'll start with the outside. 8-ounce polycotton canvas throughout, with the exception of the fly sheet, which is a heavy duty polyester. The floors are heavy duty PVC, and there's mesh in all the windows, insect proof mesh in all the windows. So it's made to be really durable. The frame is all alloy, corrosion resistant alloy. All the components, the knuckles and everything, they're all alloy throughout. Moving on to the features of the tent, this front door is a little unique in that it's a center zip door. So you can unzip it through the middle and roll it back instead of being a big D. You can then see once we open the main canvas exterior, we've now got a center zip mesh door as well. So you've got that option of ventilation or to close it right up in bad weather. So I should mention now that this canvas is actually waterproof throughout and it's all seam sealed. So without this fly sheet on, or even with this awning rolled up, the tent itself is pretty weatherproof. If it's really heavy rain or a particularly cold night, you'd want this fly sheet on to protect from condensation inside, and also particularly heavy rain because I guess zips are a potential point for water ingress. But with this out and your fly sheet on, it's a really sturdy weatherproof tent. So moving on with the features of the tent, just coming around here, the first thing I come across is a power access point here, a little zipper point with a weatherproof flap over the top, so you can get your 12 volt power or 240 volt depending on where you camped inside the tent. Talking about this awning, it's 2 meters, this awning is, it's really long, and it has eyelets both at this end here and part way along, so you can set it up with the poles here. You will need an optional ridge pole to make that happen, but you could potentially set this up as a peak like this. And that comes into play more so with the optional complete panel system, which we don't have here today. But the complete panel system has ridge poles, or upright poles and a ridge pole that allows a peak here, and it encloses all the sides here. So you're essentially creating an even bigger tent, or you've got the option to enclose it if you want, or have it open if you don't. But that is an optional accessory. Moving on around the tent, the windows. There are 3 windows in the tent like this. It has a gusset on the side. So if you unzip the first zip, you can actually peg this out as such, and it allows airflow up under here into the tent and still offers weather protection. So good for wet, humid nights. If you want airflow to go through the tent, it's a dry night, you unzip the second zip here, roll the whole thing up, and you've got a nice big open panel for ventilation that'll also keep the insects out. Now, as I mentioned, this same window features on the other side of the tent, and a similar, I think slightly wider window at the rear, at the back of the bedroom section of the tent here. So moving on further to the back, we do have this extra section here, which is divided on the inside by a divider. We'll show you that in a second. Has that window at the back, as I mentioned, but it also has these internally adjustable windows here. So you can see mesh on the outside here. Might be concerned about water getting in there, but this is all seam sealed under here. No water's going to get in. The beauty of this is that you can adjust airflow during the night without having to get out the tent. That's most of the features on the outside. I'm going to jump inside now and show you the space and features in there. So coming inside the Oxley 7 now, I'm standing on what feels like a really durable PVC floor. If you're worried about the kids digging holes in this, or putting holes in it, probably the least of your concerns. Always handy to use a ground sheet under your tent though, it's going to extend the life of that floor. Looking around the base here, there's 2 handy storage pockets on each side. There's 3 compartments to each of those. There's one here, one on the far side there. Moving up a little further, the window to my right here is the one I've opened up. This one's closed up, but you can see you can get good cross ventilation there. As we move up the tent a little further, got a vent here, which can be opened up and rolled back. So with that opened up, we've now got some high level ventilation as well. Moving right up to the top here, we've got the handle. Now this is used to collapse the tent down when it's packed away, but you could hang a lantern off that if you like. But if you go hanging off it or doing chin-ups, you're going to collapse the whole tent down. One other thing you notice when you're standing in here is that all these seams are all seam sealed. There's a waterproof tape on the inside everywhere that I can see. So on top of the canvas being a highly waterproof canvas, all the seams are sealed, so you're going to stay nice and dry in here. If we move further back to the bedroom section or the rear section of the tent, you can see it's divided by this, it's a polyester divider here, lightweight polyester divider. It's got this mesh panel across the top here to allow a bit of circulation between the two rooms. It's not fixed to the floor, so when this is open, you don't have any trip hazards part way through there. It's a T-zip to open it up, so one that goes right down the middle is this from the top to the bottom. And then across the sides here, so that when it's zipped away, it's right out of the way, so there's nothing in the way of any headspace or anything. So you can see those doors zip right out the way, creates a nice big open space as we move to the back here. So we look at the space inside the tent. It's 250 wide. The front section of the tent is 250 by 250. Then we've got another 220 centimeters at the back here. It does slope down to a fairly narrow point, so you haven't got a lot of usable space. I sort of get to here before my head's against the end here, but if you're sleeping with your head at this end and your feet to the back, you'd be fine. You're probably going to struggle to fit a stretcher in the back section here because of the way this sits. Your stretcher's going to hit this. You could do it, but your stretcher's going to be up against there and your feet are probably going to be touching this. So it's probably better to have a mat in the back here. This door at the back, as I mentioned previously, the window, sorry, is the gusseted window. So you could peg that out so that it's either protects from the weather and allows airflow, or open it right up to allow airflow right through the tent. There are extra guy ropes at the back here that I haven't used that would actually lift this up a little bit further as well. On each side here are the internally adjustable windows that I mentioned earlier. We can adjust this from the inside, either have it wide open or just partially open to allow a bit of privacy down low but airflow up high. Now this is also seam sealed here, so any rain that goes in between the mesh and this window is going to stay on the outside of the tent. Now I mentioned before about sleeping with your head at this end. It's probably going to be beneficial because Oztent have included what they call their media pocket in the Oxley here. So you have a bit of a lie down here, put your iPad or your Android, whichever you prefer, up in here. Even entertain the kids if that's what you like. I'm not one to do that, but hey, the option's there if you want. You can watch some movies on your holiday. That's pretty much the features inside the tent here. Lots of room, I feel quite spacious. Being canvas, we're out here, it's quite a warm day. Feels quite comfortable inside the tent here as well. But that's the features of the Oztent Oxley 7 canvas touring tent. You can pick them up on our website, lowest price every day, free delivery, Australia-wide, www.snowies.com.au. Thanks for watching, guys.